Over here at Armitage Park. I'm going to just start coming here. The other park's too crazy. The only bad thing is I don't get as much solar, but that's okay. Just went for a walk. And the video I said I was going to edit, I'm not. I'll attach it on here. It's just a quick tour. I don't go into detail. I figure if people want to know something, they'll ask me. You know, then I could show it. But it's not like you would go into your own home and give a rundown. This is where I keep my underwear, or you know what I mean. But anyway, yeah, it's beautiful here. You hear the traffic. The only thing that's bad is Interstate 5 is, I don't know, about 1,000 feet away from where I'm parked. But it's nice. I'm in the shade. Just too many incidents were happening at the other park. It was closer and it was easier on the gas. But my peace is worth so much more. I've been studying in my new Bible study book at Revelations, and it's like it's coming alive to me. It's so awesome and amazing. How I do it is I'm reading through it. I do 4 to 6 chapters a day. I do read them slowly so I can understand, and of course with, you know, all the commentary that comes with it helps so much. Then when I'm through with that, I'll go back through and cross-reference with verses that was given, you know, that show the receipts, if you will, for what has been said. And of course during that time too, then I'll be able to highlight areas that are important to me. But that's how I do it. I don't know, how do you study the Bible? I'm always curious on how people study the Bible. I am so grateful for that. Thank you, Kathy. Beyond grateful. If there was enough room in my bed, I'd probably sleep with it, hugging it. Just kidding. But yeah, anyway, that's what I'm doing. I'm hanging out here. I saw an old friend who also lives in his vehicle, and we talked for about an hour, and that was nice. What's really nice about that is we don't see eye to eye like, you know, politics or any of that. And we're okay with that, and we don't have to. I never comment back. It's just not. I just pay attention and I'll do oh wow, stuff like that, because to me it's just not worth. I choose my battles, and you know, I'm not here to change anyone's mind or anyone's opinion, and people that know me know that works for myself as well. Now I'm willing to listen, because there might be something that all of a sudden says, oh. And speaking of that, before I let you go, last night I was listening to the story of Naomi and her husband. Gosh, I can't remember his name. It starts with an N. And how in Bethlehem they were going through a famine, and he said, we're going to Moab. And, you know, of course we know Moab was not godly at all. And Naomi didn't want to go, but her husband said, we're going. So they took a few possessions, the 2 boys, and off they went to Moab. After a couple months, they started falling into place there. People were kind to them, you know, accepted them. Little by little, they were praying less to God. And as time went on, her husband was like, I don't hear him. God doesn't speak to me. But, you know, they were like cooking their food with the grains and stuff from the people in Moab. And they were eating the food given to them. And they started going to celebrations and all the things that are against their faith, God's will. So, long story short, he ends up passing away, as does her 2 sons, and we all know that Ruth goes with Naomi, and she becomes a Christian and marries Boaz. But it was really, I look at this world and it's so easy. It's easy to get away from God. And then eventually, before you know it, you're like, I don't hear him anymore, or I can't feel his presence anymore. So that was just clicked with me. It's like, we need to stay in line with the Word of God and not do like in Sodom and Gomorrah, right? Where we just follow whatever, just so it could get us something or somewhere. We just have to truly, no matter how hard it is, we need to stay in line with the Lord. So that was really interesting. It was on YouTube. I'm sure I can find the link, and I'll link it in the description. But anyway, it was something, that's for sure. Made me stop and think, God did not want him to go there. And that was another thing. He didn't pray to the Lord. He didn't ask God, what should I do? He didn't trust that God was going to bring him out of the famine. He didn't trust it at all. So what ended up happening to him and his family. And here she, eventually it turned around for her, but it was interesting how Naomi was just sitting there crying when she got back home to Bethlehem, and it was Ruth who knew nothing. And she even said that, look, I know nothing about your faith. But yet Ruth, listened, and she was redoing the altars. They stacked rocks and kept a fire going, and, she just started doing that, and glory to God, then she became, a follower. But we just got to be on guard. Just because you can get something, and I don't mean you specifically, I'm just meaning in general, just because there might be something for us to profit from, there is no greater profit than eternity in heaven, right? There is a heaven and there is a hell, and we're going to one or the other. And I don't look good and hot, so I'm going to heaven. Anyway, I just wanted to share that. It was really interesting. It was really great to listen to. I love to listen to stuff like that at nighttime. That one kept me awake because most of the time, I'm going to be honest, I'll fall asleep within the first hour, but I wanted to hear, what was going on here. I wanted to know the ending. So, all right, well, I hope y'all enjoy. It's just, I didn't edit. I keep saying I need to, but I'm not stressed over editing. This is my life, right? It's just uncut. It's how it is. I don't need to enhance my photo. Just none of that. But I pray that you have an awesome day. It is Thursday. God bless each and every one of you. I pray for you. Please pray for me. And don't forget, look out for your neighbor. They could use some extra love. This is Gracie. Talk to you later. Bye. I keep getting asked for more videos of the inside of my van. I'm sitting in the driver's seat, looking towards the back. And that's my side doors. I have a blackout curtain and then shears. Behind that, I keep a solar panel, a Jackery solar panel. This is where, my Nomad internet, not a sponsor. Keep my clothes in the bottom. I have one pot, one pan. And this is where I sleep. I am 5'4", so I'm quite comfortable on my bed. Behind that peachy sheet I have hanging there, I call it my garage. I keep all my toilet paper and extra stuff. There is my seat / nightstand / oops, I gotta go potty. Let's move over so I can show you the rest. So that is the front. I put up my reflector. It's going to be 97 today. And then I also put a blanket over it. And I have 2 cushions that I put on there for seating. That's where my jackeries are, charging. That's where I keep my food. Here's my stove that I seldom use. It's just too hot. Extra water. I keep odds and ends there. Those are the teddy bears my grandson Liam got me. I keep my Bible and my books. Of course, toilet paper right here. But yeah, this is my home and I love it. It's comfortable. That's a privacy curtain that I use if I have to use the restroom and it's daylight. And I'm under a different shade tree. I'll have to tell you what happened at my other shade tree. And then, of course, I have winter clothing I've taken out and I've laundered and they're ready to go. I have this little container where I keep bread. I have some chips. But anyway, yep, that's my home. When I cook, I have a cutting board right here that I take out. And I clear all that off over there, my catch-all. And I place it on there and I cook. But yep, this is home. Home sweet home. This is one of my forever rugs that I crocheted. I love them. I have a smaller matching one there. And my entry one. And they do last forever, that's for sure. Probably longer than I'll last. Anyway, let's share my story. Good morning. Okay, so my story. Now, I was parking underneath or beside this beautiful shade tree, so I got great solar in the morning, perfect shade in the afternoon. I had called and personally spoken face-to-face with a city parks person who said I am more than welcome to park there. Then, if you recall, the Eugene police officer came by because someone told him I was camping there. And he as well told me I was perfectly fine being there. Well, they have these resource officers. The only true power they have is they can write you a citation. So day before yesterday, it's about 5 o'clock. It's really hot. I was feeling really sick. And I hear, "Excuse me." And I'm like, oh, Lord, I'm a target. And it was this resource officer in his little golf cart. He says, is there a concert tonight? I said, no, there's one on the... And I told him the 3 dates of the next ones. I said, I've already spoke with the event people. We agreed that I'll move to the other side of the field. And I told him I had permission to be there. He said, well, this is my beat. He said, and I'm the enforcer. I said, oh. I go, well, I'm sorry. I go, I've never seen you before. He said, I'd like to know which police officer you spoke to. So I told him. He goes, huh. Well, I haven't been here in 6 months. I go, oh. I go, that's a long time. Then he started to complain about the unhoused people at this Washington Jefferson Street bridge, that he's had to work there because it's such a mess and there's such this kind of people and that kind of people. And I'm just looking at him. He goes, you know, I could give you a ticket. I go, well, gosh, I don't want a ticket. I made sure I had permission to be here. Once again, from the city and from the Lane County Police Department. He says, well, he goes, I'm the one who could write you a ticket. I said, okay, I'll move. So then he started asking me questions. Well, what are you doing here? I said, well, there's shade here. And I shared with him, you know, when I get chemo every 3 weeks and I'm not supposed to be in the direct sunlight, in the heat, blah, blah, blah. Then he gets super nice. Take your time leaving. Just take your time. If it takes you a few hours, I go, oh, no, it'll only take me a few minutes to wrap this up. truly sorry. I had permission. I'm not about breaking any rules or any laws. I don't like attention brought to me. I said, so I'm going to just go ahead and get everything packed up. I go, I'm slow moving, so it might take me maybe 10 minutes. No, take your time. I am so sorry you're going through that. Just take your time. And when there are events, you are more than welcome to park here. Well, no, because I have an agreement with the events people not to park right there. So, no, I can't. I said, okay, thanks. You just have a blessed day. Thank you so much. And he goes, yeah, I think you appreciate not getting a ticket. I said, well, I didn't do anything wrong to get a ticket. I had permission. And if you were to give me a ticket, I'd be more than willing to go to court over this because I have the 2 people from the city. I have their names. I go and I have the police officer who told me I was perfectly fine here. So I said, but I appreciate not getting a ticket because I don't want to deal with any of that. I said, that's why I'm moving. He goes, well, once again, take your time. I was like, okay, Lord. The events person, the police department, and this dude who obviously likes his power that he has, which is fine. I don't care. I wasn't about a ticket, didn't want a ticket, wasn't going to argue with him. I'm like, I'm fine. So I moved. I actually went to a Wilco parking lot for about an hour and a half before I went to where I parked for the night. And then I went and found another shady spot. And then this morning I got this shady spot that's going to be shady. It's going to be 97. But what got me more than anything was how he's supposed to be serving the public. And he is talking to me. Obviously, I live in my van. And he's talking so bad about people that are unhoused. I'll just pray for him. Pray that God just changes his heart. But yeah, anyway, that was a little tour of my van, and that's what happened to me day before yesterday. And I have chemo this week, and it's supposed to be the day of chemo is only 81. So, and it's supposed to be cooler for a few days after that. So I'm happy. I'll be happy with that. God's good. God's good. God's good. All right, well, I just wanted to share this video. Hopefully it won't be too hot and the sun won't be too beaming, and I'll go for a walk over by the river. Anyway, God bless each and every one of you, and I pray that you have an amazing day. Talk to you soon. Bye.